Yo, still big. What's the deal, man? Yo, I'm fresh off the clockage, man. I gotta go run to school or run to Central and pick up my daughter. That's the high school I went to, man. But peep game is the biggest high school in the city, in the state. But peep game, this ain't got shit to do with boxing, man. So you know, if you ain't trying to hear about nothing else than boxing, the very few people that fuck with me, this ain't gonna be the video for you, man. But I just came across a video of an Asian woman who was born and raised in Jamaica, having the nerve to tell Jamaicans about their culture. Ah, man, niggas do not understand how y'all. I need y'all to understand how disrespectful this shit is, man. That's literally quintessential to one of the Dutch over there in South Africa trying to tell people about their language and where their language actually stems from. Your language isn't derived of a multitude of different African tongues and dialects. It's actually derived from what we speak in the Netherlands. You see how fucked up that is? You dig? Like it's like a white guy being brung up in the hood, the ghettos of North America, and he's participating in all the verbiage, the vernacular that of Black Americans. He's speaking it, which me personally, I'm not even gonna front, man. I'm not really favorable of white guys. I may have told y'all before, the very few people that fuck with me, I'm not very favorable of white guys who speak in Ebonics. That's a dialect that was created, you dig, to honor our ancestors. And as y'all know, our ancestors were ridiculed for speaking in the manner that we speak in. And I just found out from my man, you dig, in most African dialects, I don't think in any African dialects, they don't use the T and H. They don't use the T and H word and letters in conjunction. So that's why we say duh and not the. Or them and not them. We was always lambasted for that. We was all, they've always had the most to say about how it is that we talk when they go and, when they go to make fun of us, the first thing that they're going to point to is how we speak. Well, you're very uneducated and this and that and the third. It's a historical thing, man. And now, granted, it may not be that individual white person's fault. I'm not saying that they are the ones immediately who are responsible for that type of ridicule, but it just does, I'm not even gonna lie, especially when it's OD. It does ruffle my feathers a little bit, man. It ruffles my feathers. That's just like, I'll never forget this one time I was in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is right across the bridge from me. I live on the south side of Omaha. Council Bluffs is a 5-minute drive from my spot. But I remember I was at and Council Bluff is meth capital. Like it's wild how rampant meth runs out there, man. But I'm walking in Walmart and I see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy walking around in a dashiki. And I was just like, man, what the fuck? It just pissed me off, man. I was like, man, we can't have shit. We can't have a motherfucking thing, man. I just seen it was a white girl like graduating from like Howard or some shit like that. And granted, you should be able to flaunt your achievements. You should be able to be very boisterous about you being a college graduate, because that's something that not everybody gets to do. I'm about to be a college student again. I have no intention on graduating because I'm not going to obtain a master's or an associate's or a bachelor's or none of that. That's not my goal. I don't want nothing to do with that. So anybody who is willing to go through that shit, especially when you're going into something like, hospice or anything, pertaining to health, that's a dope thing. It's a dope achievement, man. But like, goddamn it, of all places, Howard, of all places, LSU, HBCU, bro. Now, I'm not the biggest proponent of HBCU, but it's just like, y'all know why these institutions was put in place, and here you go walking across the stage. Man, it just, I'm like, I can't be mad at it because it's, It's a goal, and I think it's a goal that should be praised and saluted and applauded, man. But couldn't do that nowhere else. Dude, it was like another, you know, the South, the South African motherfuckers wearing the kente cloth, and that wasn't even just like in South Africa. They was doing that shit here with the kente cloth. I'm like, yo, do y'all? It's bothersome to me. I can't even cap about it, man. But what really pisses me off, people get to a point where they reach a certain level of comfort and they can start speaking on shit that they had no business speaking on. And usually when they speak on it, it's really coming from a place of misunderstanding and ignorance to the highest degree. You'd be surprised the amount of white people who want to be who assimilate in the black neighborhoods and all of a sudden harbor a certain demonstrative type ideology about hip hop. How, you know, it's not a black phenomenon. Language, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much wild shit, man. Like it gets to a point where it's disrespectful. So for this Asian woman who was clearly not of that land, clear as day, you are not a Jamaican by any stretch of the imagination. Your bloodline does not go back to that soil. John Henry Clark said it. He said it best. Land is just indicative as a people, as culture and language. So reason why you go into certain countries, and when you see somebody who's just completely foreign to that country, what the fuck is you doing over here? You over here? Oh shit! It's like a shell shock, because you know that country breeds a certain demographic of people and how they look, how they talk. All that shit matters. So for an Asian woman to sit here and tell Jamaican people that patois isn't an actual African dialect, yet it's a dialect that's a melting pot of a multitude of different ethnicities that came to that island. But she really emphasized the 2,000 Irish slaves, not even slaves, the 2,000 Irish people who were imported into that land to be indentured servants. Those 2,000 people completely usurped the 600,000 Africans who came into that land and had that much more of a cultural influence on the people of that land, which morphed into what it is today. That is just oh my God. I'm watching this shit and I just came across it today. I'm like, man, let me go see what this shit is about. Because I heard about it. I was listening to, you know, to Tariq Nasheed, man. I fucks with Tariq Nasheed. A lot of people don't, but I do. I fuck with him. I think his information is dope, and a lot of his shit has become debating. I love debates. I love a verbal exchange. I dig that shit. I retain information a lot easier through debate. So I'm listening to this shit, and he talks about that. I'm like, man, let me go look into that. And sure enough, man, it is just, oh my God, you know, just, you know, clear as day, the phenotype is not, you can't even make an argument that she's, you know, she's black or anything like that. You can't even, we clearly see the phenotype and where it is and what you come from. And here you go, just really discrediting any and everything that has to do with the indigenous people of that land. The African, you know, just, oh my God, the Afrocentric culture that, you know, just Afrocentrism, you know, it morphs into a multitude of different things. We have our culture here in America. I'm not about to sit here and say that hip hop is an African culture, because it's not. But just in the dialect and how we speak, and just us embracing and embodying our African lineage, that shit, you know, it played a factor over here. It still does. Pan-Africanism is still alive and well. But you really seen it in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Well, the kente cloth and the medallion, especially, you know, in music, you know, in music videos, the Afrocentric presence in music videos from the 90s was booming. It was booming, man. You seen the pendants, you seen the earrings that the sisters was wearing, you seen the kufis with the, you know, the fabric of them was the kente cloth. You seen all of that shit. It was beautiful. It was dope. You go to Jamaica, you dig? This is how the Jamaicans translate Afrocentrism, you dig? From there, you know, with their flavor on it. You would completely disregard all of that shit to put some fucking 2,000 Irish indentured servants on a pedestal as the crux of Jamaican dialect. That is disrespectful to the, and this is why I have problems with outsiders coming into, you know, coming into certain cultures, bro. Amalgamating into certain cultures. I don't like that. Because a lot of times they get disrespectful. I'm not saying that, because there's plenty of people on there. There's not just black people in the now that speak and was born and raised there. There's plenty of Asians who speak patois. They're completely assimilated into the Jamaican culture, the lifestyle, the customs, the food, the music, everything, the dialogue, everything. But a lot of them aren't disrespectful. But a lot of them are, and that's the, you know, that's what's so problematic about shit. It gets people get very vocal with the disrespect. They get very vocal to the point where they think they can start to speak on shit that they had no business speaking on because you were around. You come up around, you came up around Jamaicans. You came up around Black Americans, so you can speak. You can put your opinion on reparations. You can put your opinion. In all actuality, I don't want your opinion. But if you are going to implement your opinion, if it's not an opinion in which you're in agreement with it, then you sit there and shut the fuck up. That's just what it is. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. Nobody asked you. Be happy we even allowing you into this circle because it was your people who are the reasons as to why we need reparations. You get no response. You get no, I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. You get no rights to, you know, impede on the conversation in which that biologically you're at fault for. Maybe not you in the now, but as I said, biologically, I wasn't a slave, but biologically, I'm entitled to what it is my ancestors built on this land. So it's just real audacious for me how somebody outside of the original people of that land can sit there and talk about where it is that language came from. That's so disrespectful. That is real disrespectful. That is real disrespectful. Don't talk. And she said something about cadence or whatever the case may be. Like just, you know, the cadence they usually speak in, which I'm not going to say that it won't even play, you know, a factor in it. I won't say that because I'm not a linguist, so I can't necessarily say yay or nay on that one. I can't say yay or nay. What I can say is don't no fucking Irish say wagwan. I can say that. I can definitely say that. Don't no damn Irish say bumba clot. Suck on your mother. You know, no. Don't no Irish talk like that. Don't know Irish talk like that. Irish don't say pun. What are we talking about? Irish don't say, they don't call their kids the picnics or what. They don't do that. That is not in their vernacular. That is not in their vocabulary. They say Thursday. I don't even think Jamaicans say that. So I was trying to correlate a point with that, but I don't even think no. This is just wild to me how disrespectful people are when it comes to black people. What do you mean the 2,000 Irish imports had more of an impact on Jamaican culture and dialect than 600,000 Africans? They've traced their language back to the mother continent. West African dialects share, they share words. Between patois and, I don't know, I don't even get me to lying as far as the actual languages, but what are we talking about? There's root words in French and Spanish and Italian. Those countries neighbor each other. Like, it's just weird to me. I really despise disrespectful people when it comes to black culture. They try their best to water down all motherfucking what's the word that I'm looking for? Contributions to society. We can't have shit. I'm not Jamaican, but I'm speaking for the collective. Black people abroad. We can't have a motherfucking thing. Just think about how disrespectful that is. It's not an African dialect. And she's calling these people like dumb, like y'all don't know y'all history. Y'all, you don't know your history. You don't know your history? How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell an Asian woman about Jamaican history? Fuck out of here. Y'all don't know y'all history. That is disrespect. Like, I'm flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted listening to this shit. Like, yo, this, whoo. It doesn't surprise me. It just pisses me off. Because they're trying to do the same thing with hip hop. Italians are they're trying to make, they're trying to make claims to hip hop. We already know what time it is with the Puerto Ricans and even the Jamaicans. They think they can cling on to hip hop because of where DJ Kool Herc comes from. No. No. I'll voice that or whatever, but this ain't about that. It's about outsiders overstepping their boundaries. And I don't give a fuck if you were born and raised in Jamaica. I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't doubt if she spoke whatever Asian dialect her parents her country that her parents come from. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that she's a part of, she identifies as a Jamaican. I don't doubt that, she participates, she loves Jamaican music. She grew up around it. I don't doubt that at all. But when you start overstepping your boundaries, when you go and take the blackness off of somebody's culture to implement and usurp and put on a pedestal white shit, Irish shit. That's the disrespect part right there. That just blows me. That's the disrespect right there. It sends me, bro. Because it's not fair, and it goes back to that. It goes back to that stereotype that we're ill-equipped to. God damn it, I forgot my shit. We're ill-equipped to do, to contribute anything meaningful to society, man. People are. I've seen an uptick in interest in patois. I've seen it. I've seen people want to speak. I've seen people at Wagwan. I love patois. It's a dope language to me. That's a language that I would want to learn. In all actuality, it's a beautiful language, and you speak it it's no formal way to speak patois, to my knowledge. There's no it's a formal way to speak English. Like, I talk to y'all niggas, I can't go, like, I got a job interview today. I can't go in there talking to that woman like, hey, what's good, shorty? I can't go in there and talk that shit to her. I gotta go in there. I wear who I am on my sleeve. Like, you're gonna know where I come from just by how I talk. This is me honoring my ancestors. This is me honoring my lineage. You dig? I'm a proud Black American and cultured Black American. So I don't speak in a proper dialogue. I don't, but I do know how to conduct myself in workspaces and talk like I don't want to say like I got some sense, but talk like, all right, cool. I can't talk to you like one of my niggas off the street, you dig? But I can talk to you. Now, so you know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. But to my knowledge, there's no formal way to speak patois. There's no formal way to speak patois. You talk that shit. Wagwan. Peace, brethren. Peace. Brethren. I'm just not finding out that's, as I said that to one of the brothers up there, it was good, brethren. Brethren, you from the yard? Nah, homie. No, I didn't know that was patois. I thought all the brethren said brethren. But yeah, man, it's just real, just disrespectful how, just how disrespectful motherfuckers can get. It's real, it's unapologetic about how disrespectful they get with it. Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't even try to hide the shit. anything dope, anything cultural must, you know, in some way, shape, or form, you have to find a way to crowbar whiteness into it. Whiteness has to, you know, tack onto the coattails or whatever's going on that's dope. That is blasphemous, man. So it's bad. For somebody, I'm not saying Asians were, you know, Irish people weren't, they were never in positions of power to marginalize anybody, but just y'all, you know, just y'all share the look of a colonizer. You know what I'm saying? Even though you may not be that colonizer, you may not be that imperialist, you know, you may not be that conquista, you may not be that conqueror, but you just, you know, you share, you know, you share that look, you share bloodline with them or whatever the case may be. Maybe not fully, but I know what I'm like. I know what a white person looks like. You dig? I know what a white person looks like. So Irish, even though they are white, they've never been in positions of power to dominate anybody like that. So it's not necessarily a shot at the Irish in that sense, but it is just it's more of a shot at whiteness. For an Asian person, we all know time it was just how bad Asia was, just, you know, just dominated. And oh my God, we don't need to go through all that. For somebody of that lineage to sit there and just put whiteness on this pedestal, it's like, yo, wow. If I'm not mistaken, the Chinese is pretty prevalent in Jamaica, man. So can we say, all right, well, the Chinese is prevalent in Jamaica. So how is it that, you know, that Irish didn't have any sort of influence on what it is that y'all do? Or let's talk about what country was that was ravaged in China? I cannot remember what country it was, but is y'all dialect, is Cantonese and Mandarin, should those dialects be attributed to whatever European power structure was over there ravaging your countries? And maybe she's not, I don't know what she is, so I don't want to just say Chinese, you did, because that's very, you know, that's very bigoted in itself, you know, that's very prejudice itself to assume that she's Chinese. She could be Japanese, she could be Vietnamese, she could be a multitude of different things. I don't know exactly what it is that she was, but I was just using China as an example, man. It's real inflammatory for her to come off with that type of tone and talk to the Jamaican people as if they don't know their history. That is wild, especially when you're new here. You're new here. You didn't create any culture or customs here in this country. So for you to sit here and come off and tell us, not me in particular, but just speaking on behalf of the brethren, for you to come off on that bullshit and talk that bullshit like you wanted, you know, like you was one of them niggas who start, you know, it's just such a disrespect to the people of that land, bro. Like, let's move to your country and tell you don't know your history. You don't know your history. This is a Western powers. You know, your language was influenced by Western powers. And let's see how let's see how you like that shit. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about it, man. That was some random shit, man. I'll get with y'all later. Deuces.